Right, a bit of hindsight for the session, for the week. Actually, not the session, but hindsight for the week so far. Today is Wednesday, don't know, the 9th July. Start with Monday, which was Monday, fast and aggressive. Want to see price go lower based on A to B from year to year. Price manipulated here, saw continuation in Asian session, no pullbacks for entry to actually sell in Monday session. Then what happened? I sold on Tuesday over here instead of over here. Why? Price liquidated this high, slowed down, or I didn't see the take, entry on say stop loss here. Price took me out, price manipulated this here on top, sold. Overall direction was correct, but the area of entry was not. Could I have gotten an entry in? Possibly yes, but did I? No. Wasn't very high probability entries, to be quite honest with you. Going back in hindsight, let's see where could I have entered then. This is where price starts to slow down above the high, low, high. Ultimately, we got the low there, break, high, but no deep pullbacks if you include location. We don't even get a 50% pullback. We tease it, yes, we tease it, but we don't get a 50% pullback. Ultimately, mimicking Monday session of movement but lack of interest according to my strategy. Coming to today, Wednesday, I wouldn't say it's a shit show, but it isn't very good either. Let's zoom out, identify our A to B as always. From the A to B, we understand location. Location was where 50% in this area. What did we take most recently? We took this high in order to take this low. Strong initiation. Where can 50% possibly show its hand? Can 50% possibly show its hand? Yes, it can. But how do we take the low? We take the low over here. We close inside of the wick, but we don't close below the wick, showing a lack of sell side continuation. Price pushes up, high, low, high, into this range on the sideways here. So we know there's a supply level that we're possibly playing out of. Price initiates down, price comes back up. I wanted to see these highs here liquidate. Price does not liquidate these highs here, instead we just equal out really. But we do get a form of manipulation out of where? Out of this range over here, which I only identified after the session. So that was out of play at that time. So slightly annoyed, but understood why I missed out. Price manipulated those highs and flew towards the downside, came back up at the 50% to see further sell side continuation. Direction, again, it is correct, but because price is not giving you the setups you want, you are now forcing interest that is not consistent to what you do in order to succeed. It resulted in you bashing yourself, resulting in you having a negative mindset, and you start doubting yourself. You start looking for other measures, other ways in order to fast track progress, fast track the long journey. Instead of being patient, understanding, hey, price isn't doing what I want, so what? It's hard. It's very, very, very hard. I'm struggling with it. But I can only understand where I mess up through hindsight and through identifying where I'm really going wrong. But throughout this whole week, even through hindsight, the only decent setup I can recognize was, where was it? This is the 15 minute. 15 minute you can identify setups throughout. I know you can get a buyer, but this isn't my setup, especially with this long initiation. No. Possibly this would be a stop. This also isn't realistic, bro. Quite honestly, there is no setup that's realistic that I can say this is what I usually take. We take the low, we push back up. Even what happened today, let's go to the 5 minute. If I had to argue for today, possibly that. But even then, accumulation of orders, initiation, accumulation that takes liquidity left, initiation, break of the low, price goes a bit sideways here, and further aggression through this wick. But this wick doesn't see anything. And even then, we see that push up, down, mitigation, sell side continuation. This here is the only high probability setup, in my opinion. Not even this here. What's this high? This is the low, this is the high, this is the low, high, low break, mitigation, price low, execution, safe stop loss. But guess what? Out of session. And unfortunately, that's just what you have to deal with sometimes. Look, for my strategy, it's not a fantastic week. It's moving, but moving without me. I'm repeating myself now. But what I do want to consider is this entry that I took earlier today. It wasn't bad, but it also wasn't good because it wasn't my setup. Even if I had to take this here, this on top, that's also perfectly fine, because this aligns better with my setup because of that high, safe stop above there. Why? Accumulation takes liquidity left, intention, initiation. Thus, intention initiation is better than accumulation initiation because there's no further aggression. That's why I'm saying this was crap. This you can maybe enter on, but this is bull. That's why your only entry is over yonder. And guess what? It possibly can give us that due to the fact of after the manipulation, got this low, high, low, high, low. We're slowing down and really trying to take the lows. Now how do we push back into this high? Because now, if I'm correct, this high will now be protected. High, low, high, low, high. But yet, we don't yet get what? We don't get that change of character to show us, hey, price is now done. But this is a fractal. Very beautiful. If price does that, and then that's an entry. Straight up, that is one of our entries. Would we execute it? I don't know. But the point that I'm trying to make is wait for confirmation. Confirmation is supposed to be what saves you, not something that results in you missing setups. It's what prevents you from taking bad setups. Okay, that's essentially what I want to say. Let's just go over a bit of hindsight of the crap that I did with this one year. Just a bad entry because I watched the video and I was like, oh, I'm gonna enter here. Because if I want to justify it, accumulation, this is intention, and then further initiation, ways the manipulation, there's a range here. And quite honestly, that was a pretty, even in hindsight, I see it. It's a very good setup. But zoom out, where are we in terms of location? We are low in price. Why the heck you want to trade low in price? And even this sell opportunity, look at location, 50%. And what we're doing in 50%, absolutely bugger all. Prices are ranging. So you do not want to sell in this area. When do you want to sell? This is still valid. When price gets here, an opportunity to sell in this area, according to this range, to see a continuation, could still see some form of reaction at minimum towards the downside. So that is definitely a play, potentially. But right now, you're in 50%. Be defensive in 50%. I'm gonna end it there. Don't want this to be too long because I'll have to edit it. Stay blessed and remember Jesus Christ is Lord forever and always. He does things to allow us to learn from it in order to prepare us for what He has in store for us. We might not like it. We might pain, cry, be whatever. But He knows what's in store for us in the future, and that means we're gonna have to deal with so much more than what we're dealing with now. So you either buckle up and sit through it and show Him you are worthy to accept His blessing, because He's training you for the blessing. It's difficult, but there's a reason for it. Jesus Christ is Lord, Son of God, forever and always. Amen. Good night.